So I want to preface this video with a few things. First, I won't be talking about the graphics or the water, anything like that. I'll be specifically focusing on the mechanics of the game. I know a lot of people are saying that the graphics don't look good, but they're basically the same as the last Spider-Man game, which already looked great, so I don't mind that there isn't a huge graphical update. While it may seem like I'm being a bit harsh on the game, I do want to say that I did like the reveal. There was a lot good to take away from it, some of which I'll even be talking about in this video, but I think it's really important to give this kind of feedback, because Insomniac are really good at listening and implementing changes people want. A lot of the things I liked are things which I already liked in the last game, so I'll mainly be focusing on what's actually new. Starting off, I really like the tone of this reveal. It's very dark. Kraven comes in and snaps this guy's neck. He's definitely not playing around. Then we get the black suit. This suit kind of annoys me because it's so close to being so good, but just a few things hold it back from reaching its true potential. Let's start from the top. The eyes, they're perfect, honestly. I love how the suit has this liquidy texture, kinda like Spider-Man 3, but better than Spider-Man 3. As we move down, a few problems arise, starting with the armor padding. Why? Just why? Yet another classic design fallen into the modern trap of the dreaded lines. It's a shame too, because a big reason why people love the black suit is because of its simplicity. By adding armor padding and these weird flesh panels, you take away from what makes the suit so great in the first place. The combat looks awesome as I expected. I do hope they try and make it a little bit harder this time, specifically in regards to the gadgets, which dominated way too much in the past games. The web wings are an interesting one. They seem cool, but they feel a bit unnecessary to me. The web swinging is already great. Was this really a necessary addition? If anything, they just give me Homecoming vibes. But I guess we'll have to see. Unfortunately, Insomniac's really mediocre stealth system seems to be back. You know, the same one that straight up tells you if it's safe to go for someone or not, because it doesn't trust the player to come to their own conclusions. Stealth isn't just a Batman thing, it can work really well with Spider-Man also, and it has worked really well with Spider-Man in the past. But it's become an afterthought in these last few games, made completely pointless by it being optional. There's no incentive for you to do stealth, besides getting to see some cool animations. No enemies which can only be taken down through stealth. I mean, heck, even the TASM games understood that. You can pretty much just drop in at any time, and besides, the combat is easy as hell, so it's not like you're going to lose. The only mission where stealth actually felt good was in the art museum, because it wasn't optional. You didn't want to get caught, because if you did, they would shoot the hostage, and also the map was actually designed for stealth. But we rarely get anything like that again, it just evolves back into optional fluff. So I'm guessing stealth will be botched for the third game in a row. I'm not exactly optimistic, but maybe they will do something with it to make it actually have a point beyond just looking cool, but I doubt it. I was surprised by the amount of gore in the gameplay. I wonder if they'll be removing that for the live release or not. It's interesting. And the lizard looks really cool. They're going with the big monster design for him, which I'm not a massive fan of, because it seems so unrealistic that he would be able to go from that back to his human form. Or maybe he just won't, I'm not sure. At least he looks threatening. The water ski section looks pretty cool, but I can't really say anything in this trailer was any better than just pretty good. Everything's just been there, done that, and nothing seems to be pushing the envelope in terms of gameplay from the last one. It makes me wonder if they're holding back to maybe show something bigger closer to release. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't say this trailer blew me away, anything like Spider-Man PS4's E3 trailer did, which does make sense because that was the first Insomniac Spider-Man game. Everything was bound to look new. One thing which I immediately noticed with this gameplay is the web swinging. It looks great, but it reuses a lot of the same animations from the last one. Like seriously, even on Spider-Man PC, modders are creating new animations for web swinging, yet the official release doesn't. I really hope there will be more new animations for the full game. Even TASM 2 from TASM 1 had new web swinging animations, and that game was rushed to hell. You would expect, especially for the Symbiote suit, for the web swinging to look angry and rageful, but it doesn't. He looks no different from when he's regularly swinging. Maybe that's why they have the web wings, to make up for the lack of new web swinging animations. I'd just rather new web swinging animations, but I guess that's alright. To be honest, seeing the gameplay of the web wings from Peter's perspective looks a lot better, since it seems like you can't just use it forever, and it might just be an alternative if you have nothing to swing from. I just don't want it to be faster than web swinging, because web swinging should always be the fastest mode of transport. Peter is clearly a lot more jaded here under the influence of the symbiote, but I'm glad they didn't go too far with it. He isn't just mean to Miles all the time, he's just more dismissive, Also, I can tell that this is the first time you see Peter in the suit, so possibly that means it could evolve to lose those shoulder pads and become the classic suit from the comics. I at least hope that the suit isn't just a few new combat animations and actually makes you kinda stronger. Like Web of Shadows, but I would be very surprised if this game reaches Web of Shadows levels of greatness when it comes to the symbiote suit, where you could choose to switch between the classic and black suit, but the black suit would always feel considerably stronger, so the player would naturally drift towards it, using it more and more, just as Peter was within the narrative of the game. Also, I highly doubt that Peter is going to be Venom, just because he has similar looking eyes and makes reference to teeth, although that would be an interesting twist on things. What I am looking forward to though is the boss fight Miles will inevitably have with Peter when he's too far gone. By far the worst part of Insomniac's Spider-Man games, besides the stealth, is the boss fights. None of them are that good, since they all play so similar, and I would be very disappointed if the fight with Peter is just like any other. The average player should die maybe once or twice before fully beating it, because we're talking about Miles, who has been Spider-Man for maybe a year, and Peter, who's been Spider-Man for 8 years and is enhanced by the symbiote. Another problem I have is with the UI. Well, part of it. Mainly at the bottom, the two gadget wheel things. They immediately struck out to me as looking a bit off. They feel like they're just plopped on the screen and look fragmented from each other compared to the rest of the UI. I also think the arrow on the minimap looks a bit odd, although I'm not worried because I know the UI won't look like this for the full release, just like how Spider-Man PS4's initial UI looked much different from what it is now. Also, I'd be very surprised if in the full game they let you switch from Miles to Peter without even a loading screen for a second. I imagine it'll only be in very scripted scenarios if it is. So, in conclusion, I am pessimistically optimistic about Spider-Man 2. I have no doubt that this game will be great and potentially Game of the Year, but I just hope it chooses to innovate on the foundations of Spider-Man PS4 to keep things fresh instead of just copying and pasting and running the foundations into the ground. The thing that interests me most about this game is how Insomniac will do the symbiote suit, and I think that's the same for a lot of other people. Thanks for watching.
You sure? He's got big teeth.
So do I.
He's not normally like that, right?
No. He's never like that.